So, in this video, we're going to talk about exactly why we become so powerful when we are detached. We truly unlock an unlimited source of energy. This is limitless energy. This is 0 point energy when we let go. And maybe being too attached is why you are suffering so much in life right now. The key here is to understand who we actually are. We are not our body. We are not our mind. Although these are incredible tools, they are incredible pieces of technology. Structure of our body is amazing and it can do amazing things. Our mind is so incredibly complex, and I believe it is the key. It basically channels higher dimensions. Sometimes our mind is so smart that it starts to control us instead of us being able to control it. So we want to detach from what we are not. A lot of our suffering is because we identify with our mind or our body too much. There is another level of awareness that we can tap into, that is the witness or the observer of all this, just sitting in the background, sitting above everything physical. That is who we really are. We are really the soul. Now, it's important to note that we don't want to detach too much. We don't want to get to a point where we get detachment syndrome or whatever the psychological term is. I think it's like disassociation, where we kind of just go insane. We lose everything. We want to do this detachment process, and really, it's a healing process. We want to do it slowly. So we actually integrate the changes because you can very easily go crazy with this. We want to not lose ourselves. We want to actually find the true version of ourselves. We want to let go of the false identity that has been built up through years of conditioning, through many layers of negative and limiting beliefs. We're not detaching from who we truly are. We're detaching from who we are not. We are detaching from everything that is holding us back. We must let go of the illusion of who we are. Everything we keep telling ourselves on a daily basis, the stories that we create about ourselves, they are an illusion. And in reality, we have the ability to create any story we want. We have the ability to create any persona. So if that's the case, then why are we stuck being a fraction of ourselves? We have to let go of everything that doesn't serve us, everything we're trying to over control, everything we're trying to force. We have to let go of who we are being to please other people, to fit an image of what we think other people want, and stop really giving a shit about what other people think. And we start to release all the false identities that we have created. What's left then is our authentic essence, the part of us that cannot be programmed or conditioned, that cannot be limited, the part of us that is free, that is truly free and sovereign from anything that could possibly hold us back. But this is a process to get there. It's a process of healing. And we got to start to look deeper at the inner workings of ourselves. Every time you are triggered, a lot of us, I think, we feed into our triggers. We got to look at when we are triggered. It is so easy to just get triggered and then go into this cycle of just like negativity and anger or whatever it is, and not really look at why we are being triggered. What is the underlying reason why I get angry when someone cuts me off in traffic? What is the reason why I am insecure? Why do I compare myself to others? Why do I feel like I'm inadequate? Why do I get anxious? Why do I get nervous? What triggers limiting beliefs to come up and hold me back from really being who I truly am? Every time you are triggered is another chance to free yourself, is another chance to peel back the layers and get to your true, authentic expression, soul expression, essence, whatever you want to call it. You have a chance when you are triggered to sit back. Don't continue to feed into it. Analyze what's going on. See what kind of patterns, automatic, subconscious patterns that you're playing out. And from that point, you can choose to act in a new way. It's really just becoming aware of all the shit that you're running on and then stopping it in the moment, digging deep into your past, whatever else, and realizing what is happening. And sometimes, like, you can tell when the universe or life or God, whatever, is trying to tell you things, is trying to communicate with you, is trying to really teach you some lessons. Like for some reason, I can tell that the universe is trying to really get me to understand, really get me to learn the lesson of letting go. It's asking me, how much can I let go? How much can I detach when problems arise? How quickly can I get out of the spiraling of mental suffering and transcend it? How much trust do I have that things will work out when I am faced with really annoying or difficult problems that make me feel uncomfortable? Can I really surrender? Because I think that's one of the biggest lessons. And again, it's where you tap into limitless energy. That's where you start to master energy. We're talking about ending karmic cycles here. We're talking about pulling ourselves out of time loops, recreating the past over and over again. To really heal ourselves and move on, we do have to revisit that circumstance in our life that may have caused us trauma, that may have caused a huge amount of pain, and we just never processed it. We got to go back to it and look at it from a higher perspective. What was it trying to teach us? What can we take from it? We have to make peace with that. We have to accept it. We have to forgive whatever and whoever needs to be forgiven. Because if you're harboring anger against something or someone, if you haven't forgiven someone, you are still a victim to that. You are still emotionally and spiritually tied to that person or circumstance that you never processed. Once you really process it and you become neutral towards it, you transcend it, you detach from it, you free yourself from it. Once you experientially know, once you actually realize that you're not your body and not the mind, there is no possibility of suffering for you. I've talked about it in so many videos before, but I truly do believe that our suffering is self created. There is a state we can get to of bliss, of presence, where it is impossible to suffer. And the reason we suffer is because we're too damn attached. Clinging to things, trying to control things, it creates so much fear and anxiety, and it really just exhausts the hell out of us. It drains our energy like crazy. When we cling to control, when we cling to people or outcomes needing to go a certain way, we give them power over us. I know it is so hard to not be afraid to lose something in your life, especially if it's a good thing. But nothing in life is permanent. It really isn't. And that's sad to think about. But the sooner we accept that, the sooner we become free. When we have so much inner tension, we lose like the current of energy that naturally occurs around us. That's why they call it flowing, because we are really, it's energy is flowing through us. But if we have knots, if we have tension, if we have resentment, if we're too attached, that energy gets stuck. And radical acceptance and surrendering allows you to get to a very powerful state where you are unmoved by everything that's going on outside of you. It doesn't matter what people are saying, what kind of events take place. You have created this unbreakable state of peace, of trust in yourself. And you can actually make sovereign, free choices, decisions over the direction of your life instead of being controlled by whatever's going on outside of you. I've gotten to a point where I realize I don't need anything. I have everything I want. When you get to a point where you don't need anything and you stop acting out of the need to get something, the need to acquire something, or the need to control someone, and you truly just start acting in the now. You're really just being authentically instead of taking action focused on future results. Like something that I've noticed is that the greatest leaders, the greatest teachers, parents, coaches, partners, whatever, they lead and they teach in a detached way. They're not doing it because they want their pupils to depend on them or their partner to depend on them. They have really no ulterior motives to appease their ego. They really want to empower others to be free. Some of the most influential people in our society coming up here in the next 10, 15, 20 years are going to be like that. No longer are people going to be able to get away with taking advantage of others, draining other people, being self-centered. It's just not going to work. And when you act like this, when you don't need anything from anyone else, you don't need anything from life, this is when you become magnetic. This is when you can attract all of the great things that you want. The I'm cool if it happens, I'm cool if it doesn't mentality. Quit forcing shit so much and pushing everything you want away from you. Balance taking action with just sitting back and letting things work out. Let them work out naturally in the most effortless, efficient way possible without you even having to do anything, right? Wu Wei. Using your energy in the most efficient way possible for the maximum amount of benefit. Letting energy, again, flow through you instead of flowing from you, getting taken away from you. Stop getting tangled in all these what ifs. Stop worrying about the future because you're telling life that you don't trust it. When you have the courage to just trust that shit will really work out, you become so powerful. And what's crazy is going back to this slide, something to think about is that the desire for success and the fear of failure, they go hand in hand. The greater one is, the greater the other will be. So if we really want success, we're going to be that much more scared to fail. And also, people who are in a constant cycle of failure and not getting what they want, they savor success that much more than people who success is just second nature for. Instead of getting caught in one pole or the other, simply being is a state of true perfection. When we are just being, we are whole, we are balanced. And trying to be too perfect or flawless makes us so tense. And again, tension stops motion, it stops the flow of energy, and it wastes energy. All of our tension is always internally generated. It is generated by ourselves. It's not life outside, it's how we're responding to life on the inside. And usually, when we feel inadequate, when we feel unworthy or less than, and we feel like we have to be something we're not, again, this is the false things that we've been telling ourselves or subconsciously believing, the false identity that we've built up. So, when we accept every part of ourselves, we allow our true selves to flow out instead of balling up all that energy inside, and we just exist. It's just a state of pure being. That is when we end our suffering. That is when we take a huge step on our spiritual or self actualization journey. That's when we become a sovereign, free being. So, hopefully, that little presentation helped. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you again for the support. Thanks for watching. See ya.